Imagine a book so powerful, so controversial, that it was excluded from the Bible for centuries. Yes, a text capable of revealing hidden truths about fallen angels, giants, and celestial secrets, but which few know about. It sounds like a movie plot, but it's real. The Book of Enoch, considered a banned book, brings information that challenges our beliefs and expands our understanding of human history. And the most shocking part, it reveals mysteries that can completely change what we know about our past and even our future. If you are someone who seeks answers to the enigmas of the universe and faith, then you know how fascinating it can be to explore a text like the Book of Enoch. It is not just a historical account, it's an invitation to see beyond the obvious. It speaks of the Watchers, fallen angels, the Nephilim, giants, and even the flood in a way no other biblical text does. It's like a lost puzzle piece, essential for unraveling the deepest mysteries of our existence. But before we dive into this study, prepare yourself to be challenged. The Book of Enoch is not for casual curiosity. It is for those who seek truth, even when it comes wrapped in controversy. Are you ready to explore the secrets that have been kept from us for centuries? Let's uncover these revelations together and discover what makes this book so unique and at the same time so feared. Enoch is undoubtedly a figure that sparks the curiosity of anyone searching for hidden truths. Imagine this, a man who walked with God and was taken up without experiencing death. Isn't that an extraordinary story? Now, what about a book attributed to him, filled with mysteries about fallen angels, Nephilim, and heavenly secrets? That very book, which many don't even know exists, was banned from the Bible. But why? What is so dangerous in its texts that made it unacceptable to mainstream religious traditions? Curiously, the Book of Enoch is not just an ancient text. It is like a map leading to a parallel universe of hidden information. For example, it describes in detail the Watchers, angels who descended to earth, disobeyed divine orders, and caused chaos by involving themselves with humans. Doesn't this sound like an epic narrative? But more than fiction, these stories raise serious questions about the origins of giants and the impact of sin in heaven and on earth. Think about it. How little do we know about what truly happened before the flood? Even though many treat it as a banned book, it is impossible to ignore the depth of its revelations. After all, excerpts from the Book of Enoch were found among the famous Dead Sea Scrolls, alongside other texts fundamental to early Jewish and Christian traditions. This proves that at some point it was highly valued. Imagine the scene. Archaeologists covered in dust, uncovering fragments dating back thousands of years. Doesn't it sound like the start of a movie? Only here, the plot reveals something far more fascinating than fiction. Enoch presents us with a unique vision of the relationship between the human and the divine. His writings speak of celestial calendars and astral mysteries that continue to perplex us today. And this is just the beginning. After all, what more can these texts reveal about our history or even about our future? By delving into the content of this book, one thing becomes clear. It is not just about historical curiosity, but about understanding the impact of something much greater. And of course, this leads us to the next point, which will surprise you even more. Imagine the impact of a book considered lost for centuries suddenly reappearing. The Book of Enoch resurfaced when the Dead Sea Scrolls were discovered in caves near the Dead Sea in the 20th century. There, among fragments of sacred texts, parts of this intriguing book came to light, uncovering hidden truths that had been forgotten. These scrolls, preserved for millennia, serve as evidence that the Book of Enoch was once respected and valued by early Jewish and Christian communities, even before it was labeled as a banned text. The rediscovery is not just a victory for archaeologists, but a call to all who seek answers about the history of humanity and the divine. Why were such powerful texts set aside? Some experts suggest that its challenging content, like accounts of fallen angels and giants, may have sparked theological controversy. While the traditional Bible narrates the flood as a divine act of purification, the Book of Enoch provides details that expand and even challenge that view. Imagine reading an alternative version of the most iconic events in biblical history. The fragments of the Book of Enoch found in the Dead Sea Scrolls are like pieces of a puzzle that was incomplete. They suggest that in ancient times, people had access to knowledge that was somehow hidden over the centuries. This leads us to question how many revealed truths might still be hidden in lost texts. The book describes celestial visions, divine calendars, and secrets about the stars, challenging the conventional understanding of its time. For the curious, it is as if history is whispering ancient secrets, waiting to be heard again. Beyond its spiritual relevance, the rediscovery of the Book of Enoch is an example of how the search for truth never ends. Imagine archaeologists, scientists, and scholars dedicating their lives to restoring a text that for a long time remained forgotten. It is as if each fragment found is a clue to unravel greater mysteries, revealing the celestial impact on earth and human traditions. But this story is far from over. If the rediscovery of the Book of Enoch has brought us so many revelations, what else might still be hidden in its controversial pages? The Book of Enoch is not merely an ancient apocalyptic work. It is also one of the most controversial pieces of religious literature. Why would a text that describes fallen angels and giants be removed from the Bible? For some scholars, the book presented interpretations that challenge traditional narratives. For example, while the Bible describes angels as obedient and pure beings, the Book of Enoch speaks about the rebellion of the Watchers, angels who descended to earth, fell in love with the daughters of men, and gave rise to giants. This account raises delicate theological questions about celestial sin. The controversies don't stop there. The book presents unprecedented details about the flood, suggesting that it was a direct consequence of the sins of the fallen angels and the Nephilim. While the book of Genesis briefly mentions giants on earth during those days, the Book of Enoch expands upon this narrative. For many religious leaders, this alternative vision of the flood was too bold. After all, challenging the official interpretation could weaken trust in established traditions. It's no wonder this book was labeled dangerous and subsequently banned. Another sensitive point is the figure of the Messiah in the Book of Enoch. He is described with very specific characteristics and associated with a celestial role of judgment and redemption. This not only anticipates some ideas from the New Testament, but also questions how the Messiah is presented in more widely accepted texts. These differences ignited debates among theologians who were divided between accepting or rejecting the hidden truths of this book. Admitting such a distinct narrative could be seen as a threat to the established religious framework. The Book of Enoch also touches on a sensitive theme: the origin of evil. By describing the fall of the angels and its direct consequences on humanity, it expands our understanding of sin and suffering in the world. At the same time, it raises uncomfortable questions. If the Watchers interfered with humanity, to what extent did this intervention shape human history? This questioning made the book appear dangerous, and consequently it was excluded. But it is precisely this boldness that makes it so fascinating. The next layer of this mystery, however, goes even deeper. The Book of Enoch goes beyond a common narrative. It is a deep dive into hidden truths about the connection between the celestial and the earthly. One of its most fascinating perspectives is the detailed description of divine calendars and the mysteries of the stars. Unlike the solar calendar used by many cultures, Enoch presents a system that combines lunar and solar cycles, aligning perfectly with celestial movements. This not only provides insight into divine organization, but also suggests an intrinsic connection between humanity and the cosmos. It's as if every star and every phase of the moon holds secrets about humanity's history. Another impressive aspect is the description of the Nephilim, the giants born from the union between fallen angels and the daughters of men. These beings are depicted as immense and violent, spreading destruction wherever they went. The narrative suggests that their actions were so catastrophic that the flood became necessary to purify the world. This makes us reflect on the impact of choices and how seemingly small decisions can trigger immense consequences. Think about modern examples. When unbridled ambition or power is placed above the common good, the results can be just as devastating. The book also offers profound insights into the balance between justice and mercy. It describes how angels observe and record all human actions, reinforcing that every decision will be judged at the final judgment. This idea prompts a reflection on how we live our lives and how our choices shape our spiritual future. Are we prepared to be held accountable? But this is just one of the many thought-provoking questions the Book of Enoch presents. It continues to lead us to even more intriguing discoveries about these mysteries. Finally, the Book of Enoch serves as a powerful reminder of humanity's connection to divine order. By revealing heavenly truths, it invites us to seek greater understanding of the universe and our role within it. The mysteries presented, whether through celestial calendars or the tragic consequences of the Nephilim, challenge us to look beyond the surface. As we contemplate these teachings, we realize that they offer not only historical insights, but also spiritual guidance for the present. The Book of Enoch vividly describes how celestial events directly influence life on earth. It narrates the moment when angels, known as the Watchers, descended to the world and interacted with humanity. However, this interference was not merely spiritual, it had practical and visible consequences. According to the text, these angels taught humans advanced knowledge, such as the use of metals to create weapons, the mastery of plants for medicines and poisons, and even secrets of the stars. Imagine how these teachings transformed society at the time, shaping not just culture, but also conflicts and power structures. The celestial intervention did not stop at teaching practical skills. The Book of Enoch reveals that the fallen angels altered creation's harmony by producing the Nephilim, the giants. These beings brought chaos and destruction, disrupting what was once harmonious. It's intriguing to consider that Enoch's narrative offers a unique explanation for human suffering. It is not merely the result of human actions, but also of supernatural interference. This raises a fundamental question. Do we still face the remnants of these influences today? As tragic as it was, the celestial impact described in the Book of Enoch also serves as a warning. It reminds us of the responsibility we bear when dealing with knowledge and power. If even angels, with their wisdom, failed by disobeying God, how much more should humans, in their fragility, guard their choices? However, this story doesn't end here. The Book of Enoch still has much to reveal about celestial secrets and humanity's future, keeping us engaged in this complex and intriguing narrative. The influence of the celestial world on earthly life is a recurring theme in the Book of Enoch. It serves as a reminder that humanity's actions do not occur in isolation, they echo into the spiritual realm. Whether through the fallen angels' teachings, the birth of the Nephilim, or the resulting divine judgment, the book illustrates the profound interconnectedness of the divine and human realms. It challenges us to reflect on our role in this balance and to strive for lives aligned with divine purpose. The Book of Enoch presents a striking narrative about the consequences of the sin of the angels, known as the Watchers. These angels, by descending to earth and uniting with the daughters of men, not only broke divine laws, but also triggered events that profoundly altered humanity. One of the most alarming results was the birth of the Nephilim, the giants. These beings, with their immense strength and destructive nature, disrupted the balance of God's creation, leaving devastation in their wake. The giants, with their insatiable hunger and thirst for power, consumed Earth's resources, spreading corruption and violence. According to Enoch, their actions influenced humanity to embrace immorality and chaos. Imagine a society ruled by beings who disregarded justice, peace, and order. It's a haunting reminder of how disobedience and misuse of power can lead to catastrophic consequences. This part of the narrative forces us to reflect on modern parallels. Unchecked ambition and greed continue to bring harm to societies and the planet itself. One of the most significant consequences of the angels' sin was the divine judgment it provoked. God decided to cleanse the earth through the flood, eliminating the fallen angels, the giants, and the corrupted humanity. However, the flood was not merely an act of destruction. It symbolized a divine restoration, a chance to begin anew. This highlights an essential truth. Even in judgment, God's purpose is to restore harmony and offer redemption. It's a call for us to recognize when something in our own lives must be purified to allow a fresh start. The Book of Enoch also suggests that the consequences of the angels' actions did not completely disappear. The spirits of the Nephilim are described as wandering the earth, causing torment and unrest. This raises questions that still intrigue readers today. Are the struggles and evils we face echoes of those ancient sins? While the physical giants are gone, their legacy lingers as a spiritual battle, reminding us of the importance of resisting corruption and aligning ourselves with divine truth. The Book of Enoch offers a fascinating glimpse into celestial mysteries and divine calendars, presenting a perspective that challenges our modern understanding of time. Unlike the solar calendar widely used today, Enoch introduces a system of 364 days, harmonizing lunar and solar cycles. This precise calendar was not merely a tool for measuring time, but a divine blueprint for structuring life on Earth. It guided sacred festivals, harvests, and daily rhythms, showing a deep connection between celestial movements and human activity. One of the most captivating aspects of Enoch's revelations is the depiction of angels overseeing the heavens. According to the text, specific angels were tasked with controlling the movements of the stars, sun, and moon. This paints a picture of a universe that is not chaotic or silent, but intricately designed and divinely managed. Imagine the heavens as a celestial orchestra, with each element moving in perfect harmony under God's direction. It's a reminder that the cosmos reflects divine order and purpose, calling us to live in alignment with that order. Enoch's calendar also points to a deeper truth. Time itself is sacred. The precise organization of seasons and cycles reflects God's meticulous care for creation. This challenges us to reconsider how we use time today. Do we live purposefully, aware of the divine rhythms surrounding us? The Book of Enoch invites us to slow down, observe the heavens, and recognize that every star and season whispers messages of God's greatness and sovereignty. These celestial mysteries extend beyond the physical to the spiritual. The Book of Enoch shows that the universe operates as a reflection of divine will, emphasizing humanity's place within this cosmic order. By understanding and respecting these rhythms, we are reminded of our responsibility to live with reverence and purpose. This profound teaching encourages us to seek a deeper connection with the Creator, recognizing the beauty and balance woven into the fabric of creation. The Book of Enoch explores the origin of the Nephilim, figures who have intrigued and terrified readers for centuries. These giants were born from the union between the fallen angels, the Watchers, and the daughters of men. This union, which defied divine order, brought forth beings of immense size and strength who disrupted the balance of God's creation. Picture a time when these powerful giants roamed the earth, spreading chaos and consuming all in their path. The Nephilim were not just physically imposing, they also influenced humanity's moral and spiritual corruption. Their presence introduced violence, idolatry, and immorality on a scale that the world had never seen before. Enoch describes how their insatiable appetites drained the earth's resources, further intensifying the suffering of humankind. This makes us wonder how much of today's chaos and destruction mirrors the unchecked influence of evil in ancient times. It is as if the Nephilim symbolize forces of destruction that persist throughout history. The consequences of the Nephilim's existence were so catastrophic that God intervened with the flood, a divine act to cleanse the earth of their influence. However, the Book of Enoch suggests that their spirits survived, lingering on earth to torment humanity. This raises thought-provoking questions. Could the evils we face today be remnants of those ancient influences? While the physical giants may be gone, their spiritual legacy continues, reminding us of the ongoing battle between good and evil. The story of the Nephilim serves as a warning about the consequences of defying divine order. It is a call to remain vigilant and to resist forces that lead us away from God's purpose. By understanding their origins and influence, we are encouraged to seek discernment and wisdom, ensuring that our actions reflect obedience to God's will. The Book of Enoch provides a unique and detailed perspective on the flood, expanding upon the traditional biblical account found in Genesis. According to Enoch, the flood was not just a response to human corruption, but a direct consequence of the fallen angels' rebellion and the havoc caused by the Nephilim. These beings, through their disobedience, brought destruction and imbalance to God's creation. The flood, in this context, becomes a necessary act of divine justice to cleanse the earth and restore its harmony. Enoch describes how the cries of the earth reached the heavens, moving God to act. This cry was not merely symbolic, but represented the suffering caused by the Nephilim's violence and the fallen angels' corruption. The Book of Enoch highlights the flood as a judgment that addressed not only human sin, but also the supernatural disruption of creation. It's a powerful reminder that sin, whether celestial or earthly, has far-reaching consequences that demand divine intervention. The text also emphasizes the role of Noah, who was chosen to preserve life and rebuild the world. Enoch details how Noah received divine warnings and instructions to build the ark, illustrating God's mercy and desire for redemption even amidst judgment. This portrayal challenges us to consider, are we listening to divine guidance in our own lives? Noah's obedience serves as an example of faith and trust, encouraging us to remain steadfast even when facing overwhelming challenges. In the Book of Enoch, the flood is more than a catastrophic event. It symbolizes a new beginning. It demonstrates God's commitment to restoring creation and eradicating the influence of evil. While the flood marked the end of an era, it also paved the way for renewal and hope, reminding us that divine justice is always accompanied by the possibility of redemption. The Book of Enoch portrays its central figure as a crucial intermediary between the divine and human realms. Enoch was not just a righteous man, he achieved such intimacy with God that he was taken up without experiencing death. This extraordinary event highlights his unique role as someone chosen to witness and record heavenly secrets. Imagine the weight of being a mediator between angels, humanity, and the Creator himself. Enoch's role elevates him as a model of spiritual obedience, faith, and divine trust. One of his most significant tasks was acting as a messenger between God and the fallen angels. The Book of Enoch describes how the Watchers, after recognizing their rebellion, begged Enoch to intercede on their behalf. Yet, God's response was clear and uncompromising. Their judgment was irrevocable. This episode emphasizes a profound theological truth that divine justice cannot be overturned, even by pleas of regret. It also challenges us to consider the consequences of our own actions and the importance of living in alignment with God's will. Enoch was also entrusted with profound revelations about celestial mysteries and the workings of the universe. He received visions of the heavenly realms, the order of angels, and the divine mechanisms governing time and creation. Imagine someone in an ancient era being given knowledge that transcends human understanding, secrets that remain awe-inspiring even today. This not only underscores Enoch's role as a divine intermediary, but also reveals that God's wisdom is infinite, far beyond the limits of human perception. Ultimately, Enoch's life teaches us about the power of walking in close fellowship with God. Though he was human, his devotion elevated him to a role of cosmic significance, bridging the gap between heaven and earth. His story challenges us to seek a deeper spiritual connection, reminding us that extraordinary revelations and divine purposes are accessible to those who live with unwavering faith and obedience. In exploring Enoch's role, we realize that his mission was not just for his time, but continues to inspire those who seek to uncover the mysteries of the divine. After diving into the depths of the Book of Enoch, it is clear that its revelations are both powerful and profound. This text, often forgotten and excluded, invites us to rethink everything we know about the relationship between heaven and earth. From the rebellion of the angels to the giants' influence and God's judgment through the flood, the Book of Enoch provides answers to mysteries that have fascinated humanity for centuries. It is not just a record of the past, but a call to understand the spiritual realities that continue to shape our world. The Book of Enoch challenges us to reflect on our own lives. What can we learn from the fallen angel's disobedience or the consequences of the Nephilim's existence? Are we living with purpose, or are we allowing corruption and distraction to distance us from the divine? These ancient lessons serve as a timeless warning, reminding us of the importance of obedience, faith, and alignment with God's plan. This journey through Enoch's revelations also inspires us to seek deeper understanding. The mysteries of celestial calendars, divine justice, and the role of humanity in God's creation are not mere stories. They are keys to unlocking greater wisdom and spiritual growth. The Book of Enoch reminds us that we are part of a much larger narrative, one that connects the seen and unseen, the earthly and the heavenly. As we conclude, the challenge remains. What will you do with these revelations? How will you align your life with the truths you have discovered? Share your reflections and insights, for this is a journey we are called to take together. Don't forget to subscribe to Verdades das Escrituras and turn on notifications to continue exploring the hidden treasures of the Bible. This is just the beginning. Many more mysteries await. Are you ready to uncover them?